Morning, fourth graders. Today in math, we're going to work on strategies for division. Now, a lot of us already know how to divide, which is really great. But today we're going to work on a strategy, a common strategy that many people use in order to solve a division problem. Oftentimes when we're solving division and the numbers are getting kind of large, we use what we call inverse operation. Inverse operation means that in order to solve a division problem, I can use multiplication. For example, if I'm asked to find what 12 divided by 2 is, I can say, well, 2 times what gets me 12? Your answer there would be 6. So we're going to use this strategy today to solve some division equations and word story problems together. Let me show you what I mean. Our first problem here says, Mariana is in charge of seating students for an assembly. Each table seats 6. 78 students are going to attend the assembly. How many tables will Mariana need? Okay, so this is a word story problem that I'm dealing with here. I know my character in here is Mariana. I'm going to reread though to figure out, well, what does she actually need me to figure out? She's in charge of seating students for an assembly. Okay, and I know that there's tables that are going to seat 6 kids each. It says there's 78 students that are going to attend. So how many tables does Mariana need? Okay, I know that I'm helping Mariana figure out how many tables she needs for these kids. So she has, let's think about this. Each table can seat 6 students. And if I look at my problem again, it says that there's 78 students in all. So if there's 6 people to a table, and there's 78 people in all, and I need to find out how many tables Mariana actually needs, I'm going to use division. My equation here that I'm going to be using, 78 divided by 6 will equal the number of tables. I'm going to write T as my unknown. Remember, we use letters to represent unknowns. So I need to now figure out how to solve this problem. To solve the problem, I can use inverse operations, which means I can use multiplication to help me with this division problem. To do that, I'm going to reword how to do this with multiplication. 78 divided by 6 is the same as saying 6 times something is going to equal 78. My something right now is T, but I need to figure out what that something is. To help me figure out what that something is, I can use my knowledge of multiples and my knowledge of skip counting to figure that out. I'm going to skip count by 6s until I get to 78. Do it with me. Ready? Okay, let's start. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60, 66, 72, and 78. Okay, I made it. 6, when I skip counted by 6s, I kept on going until I got to 78. So now I need to figure out, okay, well, how many times did I skip count to get to 78? So let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So my answer, T, is going to be 13. 78 divided by 6 equals 13. 6 times 13 equals 78. So Mariana needs 13 tables to seat all of the 78 students. This is how we solve division. Let's try another one together. Colleen is uploading her family vacation photos to a digital photo album. She has 65 photos, and she can upload 4 at a time. How many groups of photos will she upload? Okay, so I'm going to read that one more time because I'm really thinking, okay, well, what does Colleen need for me to figure out? She's uploading family vacation photos to her digital photo album. Okay, so she's downloading them to her computer because she wants to keep them. She has 65 photos in total, and she can upload 4 at a time. So how many groups does she need to upload? Okay, so again, this is asking me to divide. Let's just block this off so I know all my work for this problem is going to go down here. So what I know is that there are 65 photos, and they're going to be uploaded in groups of 4. So how many groups does Colleen actually need? This is what she needs us to figure out. My division equation here would be 65 divided by 4 equals how many groups I need. Now, to help me solve this division problem, again, I can use multiplication to help me. To use my multiplication equation by using these numbers, I'd ask myself, well, 4 times what is going to give me 65? My what right now is represented by my unknown g. So I'm going to do the same thing I did up here of skip counting because I have a lot of knowledge of multiples to figure out, well, how many photo groups is she going to need? But before I do that, this took a really long time. It's not the most efficient strategy. I can use my knowledge of multiples to know, okay, I don't have to start at 1 all the time. I can think of a higher multiple of 4 to get me closer to 65. So watch how I do this. I know that 4 times 10 equals 40. 40 is a lot closer to 65 than if I was to start at 4, 8, 12, 16. So I'm going to start at 4 times 10, and I'm going to work my way down until I get to 65. This is a closer way for me to figure out what 65 divided by 4 equals what, or 4 times what equals 65. So let's do that. Okay, so I have 40, and I can skip count from here. 44, 48, 52, 56. Let's see, can I still fit down here on the bottom? 60, 64, 68. Oh, hold on. 65 isn't a multiple of 4. I have 60, 64, and 68. This is what you should do if this happens to you. Look back at your problem. Ask yourself, what is it asking me to figure out? Okay, how many groups of photos does she need to upload? She's uploading groups of photos. So I know here that if she uploaded only 64, that's not her full 65. She needs to upload 65. So I need to add on to another group, even though that other group's only going to have 1 extra picture in it, to get my answer. So let's work on it like that. If I had 4 times 10 here, 4 times 11, 4 times 12, 4 times 13, 4 times 14, 15, 16, 17. 4 times 17, it equals 68, but I know that Colleen's going to need 17 groups in order to fit all of her 65. This happens in real life too a lot of the times. You're not going to have perfect groups. You're going to have things called remainders. But when you're working with word story problems, use your knowledge of knowing, okay, I can't have something not in a group. So I'm going to go up to the next group to make my answer. So our answer here would be, okay, Colleen needs 17 groups of photos to get all of her 65 in there. All right, so today, mathematicians, you're going to follow the strategies we used here to solve your problems. You can use inverse operations of using multiplication, and you can use your knowledge of multiples to skip count and find your answers. A lot of your answers are going to have remainders, or they're not going to be perfect multiples. When that happens, use your knowledge and think, okay, well, in real life, not everything fits into perfect groups, so I know I'm going to need an extra group of some sort to fit that. All right, guys, get started.